I know. You lost a football game to a better team. Now, let's start with this. That was not pass interference. You're not going to get the flag on that. Daniel Jones, quarterback for the Giants, was late on that pass. He was late. You got to make a better, quicker throw. And you're not going to get that. There's a reason they do not throw a penalty flag on Hail Marys at the end of games. There's a reason on the last shot of the NBA Finals, refs try to step out of the way. That's not egregious enough. It's too bang. It's too close. Your quarterback was a tad late. That's the bad news. Now the good news. That was the best loss for the New York Giants in years. You're getting better every week. It looks like you have a coach who the players like and respond to. And Daniel Jones makes too many mistakes. But I'm about 80% sure you got a quarterback good enough to eventually win this division. This is a great loss. What you really are, you're the Miami Dolphins of last year. They started the year 0-7. Joy and I kept saying, they're a really good 0-7. They got crushed by Baltimore week 1. Every week it got better. You watch the Dolphins this year? Pretty good. They got the right coach. Cross your fingers on the quarterback. The Giants are well coached. The Giants play hard every week. The last 4 weeks, they have lost by 8-3, 1-2. Now, Daniel Jones makes too many mistakes. He makes about 3 mistakes a game. Can you get that down to 2? 2, you can win the NFC East, maybe even this year. 1, you have a chance to be a really good playoff team. And you're doing all of this without Saquon Barkley. But there's 2 things in the NFL you have to have. You don't have to be great at safety. You don't have to be great at wide receiver. Patriots won a lot of Super Bowls not being great at wide receiver. You don't have to have a dominating offensive line. You got to have a coach, and you got to have a quarterback in this league. And I said this last year with Brian Flores of the Dolphins, and I'll say it with Joe Judge. I think you got a coach. I think he works. I think the team responds to him. I think they play hard. When I watch the New York Giants play, mistakes beat them. But it's not incompetence. It's not lack of direction. It's not that you got the players are all going in different. I get the same effort from that team every week. I think they could have won 3 of their last 4 games. They don't have Saquon Barkley. He's their playmaker. They got to go get another playmaker or 2 on the outside. They got to get Saquon Barkley back. I think they could have one more great corner. But I would feel great this morning. Tampa Bay beat you. Tampa Bay should beat you. They got a better quarterback. They have a better roster. They're adding AB. And it was a classic look-ahead game for Tampa Bay where they got the Saints next week. I said it yesterday on the shows. I liked the New York Giants last night to cover. I thought it was your classic home dog, biggest game of the year for the New York Giants. Felt huge. And for Tampa, they're looking ahead to the Saints. So I said yesterday, I thought this was a good bet on the New York Giants. So Buccaneer fans, you're going to be way better next week. You're going to roll the Saints. You'll feel great. But I wake up in New York this morning. If I'm a Giants fan, I'm like, that's as good a loss as we have had in years. You got the coach, and I'm 80% sure you got the quarterback. That's a great place to be in the NFL because you don't have to be perfect. With the salary cap, there are no 1975 Pittsburgh Steelers. That doesn't exist in the NFL. Your receivers, you need about 1 more. Keep building that O-line. Coach, quarterback, good enough. I'd feel great this morning. And I believe when they're focused, Tampa Bay is the first or second best team in the NFL. So you lost late to what I believe is a Super Bowl team and the best team in the NFC. Good morning in New York, despite the loss. Optimism on an anxiety-ridden day. All right, now let's shift gears. Just because your career can end in one city doesn't mean your career is over. I've worked in the media for a long time. Just because you leave one place and infuriate a boss or it doesn't quite work doesn't mean your career's over. People reinvent themselves and pivot all the time. Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt again. He's going to miss multiple weeks, and I'm just going to say it now. It's over for Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco. There are 3 things as a quarterback that will end your career for one team. You're inconsistent. Garoppolo is. The coach has lost faith in you. The coach has. And you can't stay healthy. He's done in San Francisco. Everybody's done before they know they're done. Doesn't mean he's done in the NFL. I think New England is going to make a run at him. But Kyle Shanahan is in a division with Russell Wilson, who is never injured, with Kyler Murray, who you can never get a big hit on, and Jared Goff, say what you want, he's never hurt. And Garoppolo cannot stay healthy. He got hurt in New England. He got hurt his first year in San Francisco as a full-time starter, and he's hurt now. It's over. Kyle Shanahan would be idiotic to run this back. It doesn't mean his career's over. By the way, you know who I think they're going to go after? Two people. Matt Ryan, probably too expensive, or Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold for the Colts, for Washington, and specifically San Francisco. I know they like Darnold. I know they liked him in the draft. I know they like him. I know the Colts like him. I think Washington likes him. It doesn't mean Jimmy Garoppolo's career is over. But when you're in a city and you're inconsistent and the coach loses faith, and you can't argue either of those, and now you're hurt all the time. And again, you have to consider the environment with this stuff. Russell Wilson never gets hit. Kyler Murray rarely gets hit. Goff gets hit all week, never gets hurt. You can't, nothing against Nick Mullins, but I can't be going to a backup quarterback every third game. So this is done. And the other thing is, I think Kyle Shanahan lost faith in Garoppolo at the end of last year. And it's one of these like, okay, got us to the Super Bowl. What do we do? But in a weird way, you got to break. Now, when you move off him, it's not a big cap hit. It's not a huge cap hit. And let's be honest, you could tell Kyle lost faith in him. This gives you the out. Nobody's going to argue now when you're like, oh, it's just injuries. And Shanahan's going to have the media in the Bay Area on his side. You're like, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff. That's the division. You got to be healthy. My guy can't stay healthy. And we have a trend. You know, like I've said before, you burn me once, shame on you. You burn me twice, shame on me. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's the best young football coach, in my opinion, in America. What's the old Einstein thing? You're crazy if you keep going back to the same thing and doing it over and over and over and over and over. We have 3 injuries now with Garoppolo. You got 3. Sam Bradford. I feel bad. I think New England could give him a run. New England has a history of very good offensive line play. You know, Belichick is going to play good defense and protect his quarterbacks. I mean, that's kind of what they do. And they know Garoppolo, and they like Garoppolo, and maybe they'll be too good to get a top 3 quarterback in the draft. But and we know the history of Garoppolo in New England. But when I looked at this injury, I'm like, okay, it's over. I've said this before in broadcasting and in quarterbacks. Like, it's over before anybody admits it's over. We said this with Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky had a winning record. And I said, they've made their mind up. They're not telling us. They're saying all the right things in the press, but they made their mind up. And the minute Trubisky struggled, boom, Nick Foles in. All right? They could certainly bring, they're losing now in Chicago some games. They could bring Trubisky back, but I think they've made their mind up. So that's the story of the day. Be optimistic in New York. And the Sam Darnold sweepstakes, at least the phone calls, are beginning in earnest because the Jets are going to move off him. The Jets are a bad franchise. The answer for bad franchises, Cleveland's done this historically, is a quick fix. Yeah, we'll just get the quarterback right. We'll win a bunch of games. That's how the New York Jets think. That's how the Jets, just get a quarterback. I'll solve all our problems. Your offensive line's bad. You have no receivers you can trust. Your defense doesn't have an edge rusher. C.J. Mosley can never play, but you pay him a ton. You know, good luck. But that's what I see this morning. All right, coming up next, in the history of my career,